Hello, guys. My name is Williams, and thank you for your support in listening to and sharing my podcast so far. I'm really glad you have all decided to join me on my story. In the previous episode, I spoke about my bootcamp experience, how it all went down, and how it all turned out. So, in the previous episode, I mentioned about my fourth rejection in applying to Andela, and then me reapplying for the fifth time to the fellowship. So, in this episode, I'll be sharing the story of what happened right after I had applied for the fifth time to the fellowship at Andela, and how this event became a huge turning point on my journey, and how I found my love for other things quite outside writing code. But before I get too excited and rush through the whole story, do sit back and relax, and let's begin today's show. I applied for a fifth time to the fellowship after coming very close to going through the bootcamp stage, but I wasn't exactly sized up for the opportunity and the challenge. So the way it turned out, I didn't really make it to the second week of the bootcamp, which means I got dropped and had to reapply. But I then decided I was going to reapply after I had taken 3 months off to learn all the things that I considered were very important and that I didn't really grab while I was at the bootcamp. But the truth is, 3 months didn't really seem to be enough. But with a nudge from my bootcamp facilitator, Ladi, at the time, I reapplied around mid July. And then I did a quick run through the home study since, like, the truth is, there wasn't really any change to the questions except for a change in like the platform where the home study was taken. So we had this proctor, but I think it was switched to, I think, qualified. Yeah. And at that time, I was currently working on a challenge from Free Code Camp, which was an app that consumes the Twitch API. So, but in the description below, I would leave a link that properly describes what API stands for and everything around APIs. But then in my story, so by August, and this was in 2017, which was the time I was expecting an interview. And if you did listen to my first and second episode, I mentioned the community development program I always volunteered for to help high school students get ready for their new sessions. And around this time, since it was August, I volunteered once again, but something happened. So on the 5th of August, if I remember the date correctly, something quite sad occurred. Well, the truth is, no one got hurt or anything like that. But what really happened was that evening, while I was working on my Twitch app, my baby brother, who was around, it's not like a baby, but like my sibling brother, he was around. It was during the holidays with my other sibling, and since like it was a full house and everyone was just like having fun, and we're having like the school family time together, my baby brother came to me and was like, could we play a match or two? Like, and then I was more into PES. I really wasn't like a FIFA guy, so PES was like my go-to. And if you like have listened to my previous episode, I think I do remember like just like a little quick fun part about the whole thing. My favorite team back in PES and even in FIFA actually is still Barcelona. Now I'm a Messi fan, but relax. But I like Ronaldo. But the reason I love Messi is mainly because of the way he plays the game. But this is not really like a sports kind of podcast. So when he came around and he was like, let's go down and play a game or two, I was like, okay, fine. Since I had been working not the whole day but like for a good amount of the day on my project, I was like, I think it's like okay if I just unwind and yeah, like play a game or two with my brother. So when he asked, I didn't really give him much thought since I had, of course, like I said, been working on the project, and also I had like been writing occasionally on Medium. So I at least even wanted to take a break and have some fun. I then moved my PC to the dining area because like I worked from my room. I had this like HP PC then, like it's a laptop computer. So I moved it to the dining area because like it was more comfortable for us to both like have a chair to sit with and then we game together. And for whatever reason that I don't really remember, so as soon as we all set up and I began my favorite sport, which is gaming, of course. And a couple of minutes into the gameplay, my other sibling, who wasn't actually like playing the game with us, he was definitely preoccupied with something else, and he didn't really pay much attention to like the switch, which like we like it was kind of weird how I connected it, but it was fine because it worked. But coming to think of it, it wasn't really safe, and he was preoccupied because he was trying to like get something done, and he didn't really pay much attention to the switch, and he kind of accidentally he slipped on it, and then there was like this sudden camera flashlight, the one that happens when you like take a shot, like a picture, and then this like flashlight happens. But of course it's not like there was any no one was taking a picture. It was actually my PC screen that like did a flash kind of thing, and then it went all black, and it went all like white and black in a flash. And naturally, not assuming the worst, although instantly like I had a sense of what had happened, and I tried like connecting the whole setup again, but my PC won't come up, and I nearly screamed. Like, why in the world would this even happen at this point in time? And yeah, instantly I was sad, but I just couldn't get mad because obviously it was an accident, and I knew that for a fact he wouldn't intentionally do that. So, but I was still sad nonetheless, and I was too sad that instantly I just like lost appetite, and I literally went straight to bed. But there was no way I could sleep, of course, and somehow it was morning again, and I was like really pumped up, and my mind was on the PC all through the night, and I was like, okay, this thing really has to work. And then I decided to plug in my PC, but the same result. And of course, yeah, I was like even more sad than I was like last night, because aside from me being very attached to my PC at that time, it was practically like all I would say I had. Yeah, in a sense, and I know you get what I mean. I I didn't even have a mobile phone at the time, so my PC. So with my PC out of the picture, I wasn't really sure of what to do next. And to make everything more interesting, after I had because I was teaching at the development program, so I then decided to like scroll through my mail. Hopefully, I would find some good news in my mail. Of course, like good news I was hoping for is I would like get an interview invite. Eventually, when I decided to scroll through my mail, somehow I had managed not to pass the home study. And what this means practically was like my fifth rejection. And now I was really sad. Like now, like the world, like I wouldn't say it crumbled, but it just ah, this really got to me. And yeah, I still like laughed and made jokes, although at a like very minimal level and all that, but not as frequent as I used to, and definitely not with the same energy as before, because like this one really got to me. Lucky me, I do have a very strong support group. So even if I was sad, I like still somehow I still had faith, but I wasn't entirely sure what I had faith in. All I knew was I had faith in God, in myself, in life, because that was like a really I didn't really like expect any of this happening, and it came also sudden, and I just didn't know what to do next. So after the whole drama, I couldn't reapply to the fellowship. Not that I couldn't like reapply, but it was really difficult. I actually did apply for I think 4 more times after that. I think 4 to 5 more times after that, and I was using a local cafe. I used the cafe so much that they sometimes give me discounts on my time, or like just give me like a free hour, because like I was just too frequent at the cafe. And this is me saying thank you for the support you all gave me down at the cafe at Igondo. Like most people, I don't even really know the name of the cafe. Sorry, but there's a cafe somewhere at Igondo that is it's in the building of Great Confidence in that compound. There's a supermarket store downstairs. Yeah, then there's like a small cafe to your right once you step into the compound. Now maybe I would like try to remember the name, or if I go through that road, yeah, I'll like give you guys a shout out. But thank you so much. Uh yeah. So using the cafe was even still difficult at that point. and my application never really got past the home study, and this even broke me further. So after a couple of months of being stuck, I decided to like take some money I have saved. That was when I still worked as a basic school teacher, so I had some savings, and I decided to like buy myself a fairly used smartphone, and I still have the smartphone till today. Like I think it's the Itel 1551. Like that I still have that with me till now, even at this point of recording podcast. But I don't really use it, but I still have it. So after I got the phone, and since I needed some money to get a new PC or even at best fix the old one, although the reason I wanted a new PC at the time was the price to fix the old one was almost as good as getting a new one. So I came to a conclusion that fine, I'll get a new one. But then I was like, okay, I need a job, or perhaps I should maybe learn a skill I could monetize or something. And I really wasn't sure what to do next. So what I just like ended up doing was I started surfing through the internet like really hard, and just looking for opportunities, what to learn, because I really was under like a lot of pressure personally. And I was lucky. I then found like a free digital marketing course offered by Google, and I think it's still up. And it should be. It's called Digital Garage. I'll leave a link for you all to sign up. If yeah, I think it should still be up. So I'll check it again. And the truth is, I didn't actually even find this course like the very first day I logged onto the internet. So don't actually think like the first day I logged onto the internet, then wahoo, this course was all there waiting for me. But after a while that I looked through, yeah, I got it, and then I started to look through a couple of ideas, and yes, I did come across this one. So with my mobile phone, I then took the course. It was actually a free course on digital marketing, and I completed it. But then, as soon as I was done, I wasn't exactly sure how to monetize the skill. So I kind of like then decided to start a mini fitness and fashion page on Instagram, just to like test out what I've learned, and I then like applied some of the skills on Medium and other things. And all this while I also like kept writing on Medium, but I wasn't really consistent with it. But I was like writing a couple of articles in a week, or maybe like one in 2 weeks, depending on how the flow was. And and the truth is, even when I was writing on Medium, I didn't even really realize how much I did like I actually liked writing. Now it was more like something I had just started doing, just like the same way I didn't know I, just like the same way I didn't know I had like I really liked tech, because when I was younger I actually did like computers, like I played with computers, mainly just video games actually. But I never really like took it as something serious that I could like start a career or a path in. I just like saw it as okay, it's a hobby, it's something I like doing, fine. I think I'll just like rather like do something much more serious with my life. But and then I was doing the same thing with writing. I was writing because yeah, I was like, okay, fine, I can write stuff. So let me just keep writing stuff. But I never really took it as something that I could then get really serious with, because it was more like something that I easily flowed with, and it didn't really it takes effort to write, but it doesn't I didn't really like attach too much. It didn't really take me too much energy as compared to the amount of energy I would put when I was like back then in high school learning chemistry or physics and all that stuff. So this was much more easy to me, and I felt like okay, fine, I could just yeah, it's just something I know how to do. Uh and the reason I even like writing was as a result of the boot camp, because having to write on our experience at the end of every day, that kind of gave me the inspiration to keep writing, and I loved it, and I still love it, and I will always love it. The truth is, I love writing more than I love writing articles and creating content, like written content, even more than I actually like writing code. although although I didn't even exactly notice this at the time, but I continued writing on Medium, building my mini blog, then ultimately transforming the fitness stroke fashion page to a fashion page. Although like I have suspended that project long before this moment, because like I wanted to focus on other things, so I kind of suspended that. But yeah, I then with time, I was then able to like get a few gigs here and there. I even learned how to play the guitar because now primarily I do like the instrument, but I was also like looking to join a band. So there was like a local band that played frequently in my area. So I just like wanted to join the band. Maybe like I could get some pay and anything possible to just like save up for a new PC. But the truth is, this wasn't exactly enough. So with time, I just like kept putting my energy into whatever I imagined could bring me closer to where I wanted to go. Now to the issue of the education part. Whew, this is a big one. So after finding Andela, I in the process had also applied for college, but honestly, I was now in love with tech, so I thought perhaps computer science in college would then definitely be great. But then I then start to wonder, why haven't I really taken a note of this like from the start? Why did I have to like go take myself through all this process? Even right now, I remember a couple of friends telling me how they see me playing video games and doing like tech stuff for a living. Even when I was like still more like of a strict physics, chemistry, and biology kind of person. Not like I was the not like I was the guru person, but yeah, I didn't really look at tech as something that I could then like start a career path in. And actually, I wasn't really strict in any way with this subject, but all along I thought that I would be like a doctor or engineer or something really fancy. And yeah, to all the doctors, pharmacists, engineers, architects, lawyers, all individuals learning and excelling at the careers that, yes, I had struggled with, but never really had a passion for. I do support your work, and the whole community is much more better with people like you in it, helping us with your skills and expertise and making the world a more sustainable and livable place. And as for the rest of us, the artists, the musicians, the poets, you that ain't really fancy, don't forget you all add balance to our culture and society as humans, and your creation will forever be eternal in our hearts. So, shout outs to every single person following their path, following their dream, and yeah, I support your decision as long as you are true to it. So, college, well, I applied once again to study computer science at a federal college, but based on the info I searched out, I discovered like perhaps I could then like try out a better option, which is virtual education. And personally, I prefer this to traditional education for a number of reasons. Although to be sincere, I didn't like get 100% support about this decision. But with the little support I had, I applied and I got into study computer science at the University of the People. So I think I'll just like leave a link to my school in case you guys want to check out our campus. Although we don't exactly have a campus, but we do have. I'll drop something for you guys to like just check it out. So for those of you who are kind of like wondering how the whole virtual education thing works, but it's something that's quite popular now, so shouldn't really be a hard thing to crack for anybody. And all of this that I had like just said happened between the year 2017 down to early 2019. I mean, like down to this year. So I just kind of like measured all of it together. By mid 2018, yeah, I got a position as a content writer, and I was able to like finally then save up for my new PC, which I finally got like March 2019. That's March this year. Uh so somehow the writing skill I had but had greatly underrated for, I don't just know why. Because yeah, because it wasn't like the fancy thing that most people did, and that was the skill that eventually helped me out. So I had this skill, and I felt like okay, it wasn't something really serious. But then it turns out that my skill that I felt wasn't really serious is what then built me out of a situation that I have literally been struggling with from 2017. So if you've got a skill and you're out there, just here's my advice: keep practicing, and if you still haven't found out what your passion is, then my advice would be that you should like try out more experiences and stop being afraid of failing or looking like a mess, because the truth is, in the end, we get to live with ourselves, and you should stop being afraid of failing in front of people. The truth then is, you should know yourself, or you'd certainly be lost, and find yourself a group of like-minded and more inspirational individuals you can constantly learn from, because if you never really get enough experiences, you might never really find out what you are good at or even love. So I would say you should start today and learn new stuff. You definitely will fail a lot, yeah, even in the early stages, but don't worry about failing. Instead, be concerned about learning something new from every experience you have. And in the light of all this experience, I then made a review of what has been and all the lessons I've learned during the last 4 years. And the truth is, I'm even currently still learning more, so I can't tell you directly that I have learned all I need to learn, because like that is very far from the truth. So reflecting back on the whole experience, I decided I was going to learn how to begin writing code once again. Although I have a fair knowledge about it, but I decided to start all over from the basic concepts of HTML into CSS into applied design, and now I am focused on learning how to write JavaScript, which has been really challenging so far, but also exciting. And it was in the transition of all this I decided to then create the whole Tech Catalyst community, and then this podcast, the Tech Catalyst Show, so I can share my story and also guide new individuals into the world of tech, particularly software development. And I am very glad that you all have been a part of this journey, especially you listening to me at this very moment. And I am thrilled about what's coming next. I believe you enjoyed today's story, as this will be where I put a pause on my personal story and experience so far. So, just as I promised in the introduction episode, TC, as I'd like to call it, isn't just about my story, but in here we'll be sharing stories from other world-class software developers, and you'd get a chance to learn something new from their experience as well. So, in the coming episodes, I'll be interviewing developers from around the globe to share their story, so we can learn valuable lessons and also get a few tips on how we can accelerate our journey to becoming world-class software engineers. So until next time, do stay safe, be you, follow your passion, try out new positive things, make sure they are positive things, then share your creativity, and you of course have the support of this community to be awesome every single day. I am Williams Falodun, and this is the Tech Catalyst Show.